Like, I brought the team from the farewell. Often we were like, wait, how do we do this? You know, we'd never done anything of this size. And we were like, oh, that's how this works, cool.
We love each other so much and have such a wonderful bond, but I guess that was sort of sometimes happening off set.
Hi, I'm Lulu Wang, and I am the director of Expats.
Hi, I'm Sarayu Blue, and I play Hillary in Expats.
Hi, I'm Jiyoung Yu, and I play Mercy in Expats.
My name is Brian T, and I play the character Clark Wu.
And I'm Jack Huston, and I play the character David Starr.
Hong Kong was supposed to be a fresh start for me.
A fresh start, really? At 24?
I think my marriage is over.
What was it like working alongside Nicole Kidman to kind of produce this project?
It was, you know, a really epic journey for all of us. We came into it knowing that it was going to be a series of significant scope, and we just yeah, you know, went through so many emotions, and it was so personal for all of us. We all come from such different backgrounds, so it was just a learning experience, a learning curve, to get to know each other and to share our different perspectives.
So I feel this story focuses on 3 female protagonists and the interconnectedness of their stories. What was the collaboration like behind the scenes?
Overall, I working with this ensemble was wonderful.
Oh.
Yes, I think it's so great when you work on a project like this. You can really trust that all the actors are going to be phenomenal. So I think what was sad for me personally was that I didn't get to spend more time with Sarayu and with Nick, because I think it would have been really great. But I think that informs the show of the feeling of these relationships can be so brief or can have such a little contact in some ways, but can be so impactful on your life.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Ji-young actually addressed it earlier when we were earlier today, but it is one of those weird shows where we all have pretty divergent storylines. And so, I mean, obviously I got to shoot with Nick, which was amazing, and shooting with the cast all around was incredible. But it's true that much of our stuff was kind of fractured, which is so fascinating because we love each other so much and have such a wonderful bond. But I guess that was sort of sometimes happening off set.
We had lots of dinners together.
We did. We sure did.
I think we need to think about getting out of here. Because we're drowning and you don't see it.
The minute our feet leave Hong Kong soil, we are abandoning our son.
I feel like this show is all about the interactions between the characters, and whether that be a pairing or a trio. What was it like working opposite of Nicole Kidman, Sarayu Blue, and then Jiyoung Yu?
I think when you have these class of women, all of them at such an incredible level of brilliance and talent and smart and strong, I think you just want to elevate your game with that. I think these 3 women really carry our show, and it's helmed by one of the best and strongest and smartest and brilliant and talented Lulu Wang. And I think for us, we love being a part of that and along for the ride and in support of what we wanted to create as a whole.
Yeah, it's a show written by, produced by, starring, shot by, art directed by women. It is. It's nice to actually be a man supporting that. I think it's a real treat to be on a set and witness that. It's and you know, hopefully that this is to so many more exactly like it, because it was beautiful to witness, and it be done with such care and such grace and such humility and humanity. I think it's it felt like a very important project to be a part of.
To me, I mean, watching the show, which is great, by the way, I feel like it kind of ruminated a lot on how women, like, ironically, our individuality is tied to other people. And like, what we are to other people. What were the themes that you really wanted to tackle in this show?
That's a really interesting one, and I love that, what you said about, you know, women and our identities being attached to other people. I think the main one for me as a show that deals with grief was looking at women and their resilience and the different types of resilience, because, you know, the women that I know are all so resilient and strong, but it doesn't always look the same. You know, one of the questions we asked a lot in the writer's room is this question: do you fight? Do you stay and fight, or do you endure? Right? And like, either way, it's a form of resilience, you know, and people make different choices. And I think all of the characters have to make that choice. And Hong Kong as a city is grappling with that, you know. Do you fight? Do you endure? And yeah, and so it's weird because then, you know, the pandemic happened. We started the show before the pandemic, but then I think that those themes became even more relevant as people experienced such tremendous and often ambiguous losses during the pandemic.
We all need to keep living.
Did working on this project make you think about how you view yourself and your own individuality or personhood more?
Wow. Yes. What a great question. Yes, I think it did. And I think probably since the time that I've stopped filming, I've grown even more around that. There was a real growing process I felt like I did playing Hillary. There was something about playing her that grew me both as an actor because of the caliber of the project, working with Lulu and working with Nicole, working with our entire cast that are so incredible. And just the process of playing her grew me. And I think that it's really, there's a resilience that she has and an ability to really handle the punches of life that I guess is the gift she's starting to give to me, because I'm learning that better after playing her.
Yeah, I would say every role I play, I learn something about myself, and I probably take bits and pieces of the character with me. Um, I thought a lot about personhood and identity when doing this show. I don't know if I can even articulate what, because I think I'm still going through a lot of it. It's so funny that because I started in theater, releasing the show in the way that we are, it feels like I'm not actually like giving it to the world until now. So maybe ask me in a year and maybe I'll have better answers for you.
I feel like the show, obviously it focuses a lot on themes of motherhood and female like experience, but then it also has themes of fatherhood, or I guess husbandhood in some cases. What do you think it has to say about the like themes, like male experience kind of themes?
I think it's interesting because you know, it's told from so many different perspectives. And in my case, David, you know, he's going for a midlife crisis. I think his past trauma has suddenly reared its ugly head, and he's sort of questioned himself, his life, who he is. I think, you know, he's human, he's flawed, he's going through it, and I think it's very easy to judge or point fingers and say someone does something wrong, but sometimes you have to go a little deeper and find out why they're doing it, or what's happened, what is the past. And I that's what I love about the show. I think it really digs very deep into all of these characters, and it really sort of tells you why they are the way they are and how they are. So yeah. It's amazing.
I think everybody deals with trauma and tragedy in a different way, both male and female. And I think the brilliance of this show is each individual has their own personal perspective. And when coming together, it causes for such a nuanced and complex situation of relationships. And I really truly feel that it is like a universal sense of humanity, right? On all different levels and in different aspects. So when audiences are watching, both men, women, everything across the board, it's so incredibly relatable because those themes are so universal.
I just wanted to let you know your director's roundtable is on at my apartment every month. We have like a monthly rewatch of it, me and my roommate. And I was wondering what shooting in Hong Kong was like. And I know it was a bigger budget than the farewell, but I know you said there was kind of this scrappiness that you had on the farewell shoot. And I was wondering if it was similar.
Yeah, you know, I can't work from a place where I'm not agile. You know, I think that that's just like how what I'm used to, and so obviously on this production, we had a lot more resources for things that I couldn't even dream of on the farewell. You know, we have a whole episode where there's a typhoon taking place. And so we had rain machines, we had wind machines. And so it was incredible getting to have these resources and portray, you know, the stories on a much larger scale. But at the same time, we were just on the ground in Hong Kong during a really difficult time, and a lot of people who would normally come from the studio and, you know, producers and things like that didn't come because you have to do a 21-day quarantine. And so those of us who did the quarantine and were there together were like, oh, here comes another real typhoon. What do we do now? Like, you can't actually shoot a typhoon in a typhoon, it turns out. Because at first we were like, great, let's go film it. And we're like, no, that's not safe. You can't go out there. And it's, you know, sunny now, but we need it to be raining in the movie or in the show. So, and it was the same team, you know, like I brought the team from the farewell, my cinematographer, my production designer, and my producer as well. And often we were like, wait, how do we do this? You know, we'd never done anything of this size. And we were like, oh, that's how this works, cool. So we were learning as we were going. We'd never built a set of this scale before. You know, the apartment for the expats were all built on a soundstage. So.
Don't you ever miss it? Home?
I feel like Hong Kong in itself is kind of a character in the story. There's a lot of life in it. What words would you use to describe its like personality?
I mean, I always think vibrant. I think vibrant. I think flavorful. I think singular. I think, you know, diverse. I mean, it's such an exciting place. Any other words, Ji Young? You've got them.
I've got some words.
Really
Yeah,
good.
I mean, I don't think there's another place on the planet like Hong Kong. And that's not an exaggeration at all. It is such an incredible place. I think the architecture, I could probably write like essays on. And I think the feeling of structure and compactness in the city definitely is a large part of the show. The idea of like how much space people have to live in. And it's just amazing. And I miss it. I want to go back soon.
There's a lot. Warm, exciting, fun, epic.
Yeah, great architecture, wonderful people.
Yeah. The food.
Yeah.
It's just an incredible experience. I mean, it's nothing that I've
culturally diverse in so many ways. It's a really. I found it. It was one of the great cities I've ever visited.
Yeah. No, same.
I loved every second of it.
Same.
And it was wonderful.